And the Renfro's Alaskan adventure continues.
We're still trying to seal the deal for RJ.
We are. I'm still trying for my archery moose, although there might be another animal, another critter in this episode.
Maybe a potential Alaskan black bear.
There's been a lot of bear hunts with my parents up with the Renfro's, and let's just be honest, there hasn't been any black bears. We might try to change that. This week's choice is Alaskan moose and Alaskan black bear. We had a pretty busy day yesterday, I would say.
I would also have to agree.
Literally woke up to a cow call.
And we heard some raking as soon as we were starting to get ready.
We heard cow calling from one side of us, we heard raking on the other side. We weren't too sure what to do, so we just started making our way, and we were gonna try with my bow.
And
we got pretty close. He was playing with us for a little bit. He kind of went behind this this bush for a second, disappeared, came out, came back into it.
Got set up one time, didn't work. Got set up another time, still didn't work.
He went out to 200 yards, and that's, even though it's not within range for my bow, it was within range for somebody else.
Yeah, because, you know, I brought a rifle, my 300 Win Mag, so I can poke out a little bit.
That X-Bolt 2, the Browning, you smoked him with.
Absolutely smoked him.
Oh. Oh. He's running to the left. Aubrey's going down. Aubrey's down. Aubrey's down. He's down. And at that point, we're so happy, yet also like he just died in the water.
We went to go get him, and as soon as we walked up to him, we didn't realize how far in the pond he was. They got him up to shore as much out of the water as we could and started butchering him.
We have a ton of moose meat going home.
Ton of moose meat.
And we just carried a ton of moose meat.
Yes, and I really am super excited and super proud. It's just we are
You did a fantastic job. We hooked up the Starlink earlier today for a few minutes, and it actually worked out here in the middle of nowhere,
so
Alaska.
We got to FaceTime Ralph and Vicky.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Send photos to everyone, so that was really awesome.
They were super stoked to hear the story and see us and just hear all about it, because this is what they used to love. That they still love.
This is what they still love.
Yeah, this is what they still love.
It's like, we're following in their footsteps. That's what we're doing.
That we are.
So
it's crazy. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it.
It's insane.
Aubrey's cooking up some like almost jambalaya looking red beans, rice, and
with
kielbasa. Oh, that looks amazing.
It smells good too.
I'll say for a newlywed couple, I think we got this camp life thing down pretty well.
I'd say so.
I think so. I appreciate how delicious of a camp chef she makes her food. I mean, this has been phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
And it's all thanks to Renfro's Alaskan Adventures, though, because they supplied us with all this food.
This is very true. I think we had jumping our kielbasa 1, 2, 3.
A lot of the
4.
nights.
A lot.
It's just good. It's rice and meat. You can't go wrong with that.
Being able to wake up and just know that there's nobody around you is the most peaceful thing I'd say I've ever experienced.
Can you believe it?
No, this is the first time I've seen the sun in days.
And it's calm.
It is. It's very
super calm.
Probably do some cow calling down there.
Yeah.
Get a bull to come right through camp and just shoot in the morning. We're done.
I like that.
I will say though, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I had a 0-degree sleeping bag, and somebody had a negative 40-degree sleeping bag. Somebody still got cold.
Okay. So to be fair though, I did not take my wet socks off until it was too late. But that's okay.
Why wouldn't you take your socks off?
Because I was dead tired, RJ. That's why. But I took them off and I warmed myself up.
Where did Aubrey go? You're deep down in there.
It's cold.
You have like literally a foot, probably about a foot of insulation on you. And you're still cold. And I'm over here like half unzipped in a 0-degree, and I'm
I took his pillow.
toasty.
I took his pillow.
You took my whoopee, yeah.
This segment is brought to you by Bass Pro Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. The choice is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, Alps Outdoors, Browning Firearms, Dallas Safari Club, Easton Archery, and Gammo Air Guns.
Well, the weather finally let up. It's still really windy out though. But the wind's kind of turning to the point where we can hunt this timber down here to our north side, which we haven't been able to do yet. So we're hurrying up, getting ready. Hopefully there's not gonna be any more rain. We're gonna go see if we can get ourselves a moose.
Since Aubrey had a fantastic start to her hunt and got her moose the first day, I had quite a while to go after mine. We were coming up over the hill to go to one of our favorite little spots to scout because we could see a ton of land. And right from Aubrey's moose carcass was a brown bear running away from the carcass.
Quite a few hundred yards away, and that thing still looked huge.
That was awesome. We just saw a big old brown bear. We've been out here glassing for a while with some different weather. And we look back behind us and there's a big old brown bear.
There's a place where the wild still rules, where the tundra stretches unbroken and the mountains hide giants. Alaska, home to the largest concentration of brown bears on the planet. Here, these apex predators roam free, powerful, primal, and untamed. That's why Ralph and Vicky keep coming back to Renfro's Alaskan Adventures. More than just outfitters, they're family, trusted guides in one of the last true frontiers. For years, the choice has called this bear country home for a reason, because this is where legends live and stories are made. Tracking Alaska's brown bears through unforgiving terrain, side by side with those who know it best. This isn't just a hunt. It's a test of grit, patience, and respect for the wild. Brown bears in Alaska are some of the largest predators on Earth, with mature males weighing over 1,200 pounds and standing nearly 10 feet tall. They can live up to 25 years in the wild, but make no mistake, every day is a battle for dominance and survival. With more than 30,000 brown bears roaming the state, Alaska holds over 95% of the U.S. population. And while they may seem unstoppable, it's their keen senses, elusive nature, and rugged terrain that make each encounter rare and every hunt unforgettable. And today, that story continues. RJ and Aubrey are hunting moose and black bear on a true wilderness adventure.
We just seen a black bear crossing just right after our camp, and I have a black bear tag, so we're gonna see if we can't get up on him, and if he starts coming at us, like coming this way, I'm gonna take him. If he keeps wandering, then we'll just let him go and we'll continue RJ's hunt.
Sometimes as a hunter, you just have to go with your instincts. On this one, that's just what RJ and Aubrey did. There's also no room for selfishness out here. If Aubrey can put down an Alaskan black bear, it's a huge win.
We're gonna get up a little bit closer in this hill. He's probably down in these elder bushes, and we ain't walking in there to spook him or anything. It's only us out here, no one else. So we're just gonna go this way a little bit more and see if we can't see him.
Each hunt is a test of patience, and today, that patience is paying off. After days of hunting some of the toughest terrain to traverse, RJ and Aubrey finally have what they've been hoping for. The bear is close. For RJ and Aubrey, everything they've prepared for is starting to come together as they approach closer and closer. The wind is right, the bear's in range. Now, every move matters. Aubrey's moment might be seconds away. This segment is brought to you by Browning, the best there is. This segment is brought to you by SpyPoint, the world's #1 cellular trail camera.
So if you know me, it doesn't take much convincing for me to be the one to hunt, if that makes sense. So if
true.
someone offers it, I'll usually jump on it.
Hop on the
Hop on
opportunity.
the opportunity because I love hunting. Who doesn't? We get the gun. I'm asking RJ all these things. I'm like, okay, what should I do? You're my guide right now.
And I'm behind the camera trying to guide her in front of the camera. It was a little bit of chaos. We just got to a nice vantage point, and we seen where he was at. He was kind of through the bushes.
And he was just taking his time chewing on the berries. We kind of like looked at him, and then he moved, and then we kind of skirted him a little bit. Finally, I was like, RJ, can you see him? And I get my pack set up and give me an opportunity. If you don't want me to shoot him, I won't.
Shoot him. It's up to you.
I do.
Okay.
It's your hunt.
I don't care. You want to shoot a bear? Shoot a bear. You smoked him. Oh, wait. Another hunter. It's done. It's done. You smoked. Oh, you smoked. Come on. He's down. He's down for the count.
RJ and I both are sitting right up on that hill, just right there. We're glassing the tree line, waiting for a moose to pop out for RJ, because RJ has not gotten his moose yet. I have. And we see, RJ sees this black bear coming in here, and, well, I have a black bear tag, so we went back to camp, grabbed the rifle, and made a stalk on him, and I just shot a freaking black bear. In Alaska.
Probably a good thing to grab the sat phone. You should probably call.
Talk to me.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
We hear ya.
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, I just want to start off. It's not a moose. RJ did not get a moose. But I just shot a black bear.
Did you really?
You just shot a black bear?
Aubrey just shot a black bear. Oh my God.
Right outside of camp.
Ranch girl, let's go, baby.
And the best part is he dropped. He didn't go anywhere.
Oh my gosh. Your first black bear, your first moose. Good job. Oh my gosh. That is so cool.
Talk to you guys soon.
Love you guys.
Love ya. Call us tomorrow.
Love you. Bye. Will do. Bye.
Good job.
Everyone's there. Happy Chet Chess, Eddie,
That's so awesome.
Rob, Vicky. So they all know.
Mr. Cianciarulo with an Alaskan black bear.
I know. How is that? How's that even possible? I can't even.
What a beautiful coat that thing is.
Holy cow. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Alaska. We're doing it. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
I can't even. Rent Bros Alaskan Adventures. And I got a black bear. So, once again, RJ's hunt turned Aubrey's hunt. We were sitting on the hill, glassing for moose for RJ to get one with his bow since I already tagged out already with my moose. And he spotted this black bear, and I have a black bear tag, so we were like, why not? And we are pretty close to camp. It's about 200, 300-ish yards from camp, so, you know, why not? He tripped my trigger, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take him. So that's what I did. So we stocked up on him, and he was just feeding right here in this little ravine, and it was a perfect shot. It dropped him, and now all we have to do is we just have to skin him, get the meat, and pack him out.
This segment is brought to you by DSC, Conservation, Education, and Advocacy. The Choice is also brought to you by Hoyt Archery, Spy Point Trail Cameras, Tracker Off-Road, Traditions Muzzle Loaders, and these fine sponsors.
We saw a bunch of moose on this trip. And I mean, when I say we've seen a bunch of moose, it's weird because a lot of them were at a distance, but they still looked massive.
Get up by this hill, maybe do some calling. See if we can't get something to move. Aubrey.
We had one, really not too far from where you had gotten your moose.
Yeah, that's right.
We're sitting there glassing, all of a sudden we see him kind of pop out of nowhere to our side at what, 200, 300 yards?
Yeah.
So we hurry up, I grab my paddle, I start trying to work him just a little bit. Between sitting and glassing for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
And hours.
And trying to move to different locations, trying to call moose in. So we had some bull movement come closer when we did prime some areas. I just don't think we knew exactly how to attack each scenario the proper way.
I mean, that's gonna come with us never doing it before by ourselves.
This is
we
very
had
true.
No one.
Absolutely.
So.
And we definitely learned a lot on this trip.
Yes.
Moving throughout the week, we had seen a ton of moose at distances, way out there, way across the river, and just areas that we thought were like, maybe that's a bit too far, because if we can have them start moving this way, but we know that there's a bull 2,000 yards from us rather than 4,000 yards, we're gonna try to work this bull that's a little bit closer than the one farther.
Oh. No, he's done. So close. Yeah, so far. I can confirm that after between having weather, having some nasty wind, having a hard time getting bulls to kind of come to us or even see moose. We've seen them, but we can't get them to come close. We've probably seen 7 to 9 different bulls, and I think either my calling's bad or they just can't hear us or something. We're bear glassing on the last day. We don't see anything at the moment, but last night just before dark, I seen a bull way out to our east. It's gonna be the only day that we're gonna have an east wind. I've been looking like a good ways away. And here at like 300 yards, there's this little bull just coming through the timber, just working his way over to us. I think he's just curious of a guy. That's awesome.
It has been an absolutely incredible adventure. A little bit of hiking, a little bit of glassing. In other words, a lot of glassing and hiking. We covered a good amount of this country out here. We hope we showed what all this has to offer out here, because it's something that you can't explain in words. You really can't. And even the videos probably won't do this justice, because it's gorgeous out here. Between the highway of a river we have below us to the winding, whirling winds that we constantly battle with every day, it's been just unbelievable. And of course we have to thank Wade and the Renfros and everybody, the whole crew, Avery, Bo, everyone, Logan. Thank you guys for getting us out here, outfitting us with food and some equipment. And thanks to my parents and everybody for teaching us how to come up here and how to hunt moose. Because without you guys, we probably wouldn't have even gotten Aubrey's moose, let alone her bear. I mean, it's just been incredible. It has been absolutely an amazing time.
I fell with the cord on my back. You fell with 2 quarters on your face.
Yeah.
Oopsies. But it was a lot of fun doing this with you, and I would do it 1,000 times over.
Same here.
Even if we didn't get moose, and then other
The
1,000
experience
times.
is well worth it.
Yes, it really is. So, that's my take.
Well, until next time,
How about
we're gonna
that?
pack up and head home, back to society.
Closed captions brought to you by Wounded Warrior Outdoors, providing wounded servicemen and women with therapeutic outdoor adventures.
Bad little pine mark. Or minor, whatever you are. Oh, we had some fog come in. And, well, let's just say we sat down for a little bit. We're just hanging out for a couple. Just because it's hard to see the moose from a distance here.